Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for coming through. If you're new to the crew and to the channel, I truly appreciate you for returning back to the channel. Let me know how the lighting is. Let me also know how the microphone that I'm using is. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Google Pixel 6 after 2 months. And is the Google Pixel 6 killing it, right? Is it really killing it when it comes to the competition, stuff like that? Or is it all just overhype and just all, just the hype up of the Google Pixel phones? Well, I'm going to give you my honest opinion about this device after 2 months of using it as main phone for 2 months straight. And I'm going to give you everything that I like about this device, everything that I don't like it, bugs, no bugs, whatever I've been going through. I'm going to share that with you in this video. So I truly appreciate you for coming through to chill with me and kick it with me, right? Because it was extremely hyped up from the time that before it was even launched out to consumers. It was a phone that people were talking about for months before it actually arrived on the scene. And a lot of phones do tend to have this type of hype behind them. Apple, Samsung, and even it used to be Huawei that used to be able to do that, but we don't have Google services anymore. Google is actually they've actually been doing really good over the years, and they've only gotten better over the years. And I think this is truly one of their most impressive phones, and I'm gonna get into that right now. It's I bought this device with my own money. I pre-ordered it from Google's website, and it got here to me within like 2 weeks or something, or a week after me ordering it. So we're the first wave of pre-orders. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the people who got their hands on the Google Pixel 6 in the first wave experienced like bug issues and stuff like that, which is very unfortunate for anybody to go through that. But I'm going to talk about just my experiences and what I've been dealing with the Google Pixel 6. Let's just start off with the build of this. You have Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, and on the back you have Gorilla Glass 6 on the back. Your 90 hertz AMOLED panel, 6.4 inches with a 90 hertz refresh rate. You also do get reverse wireless charging, 25 watts speeds when it comes to the charging on here, which is pretty crazy. They do actually give you wireless fast charging at 21 watts as well. So just some of the things that you see and hear about when you're talking about this device. They listed this device at $599 at launch, and it's still been a really solid device going forward, and one of my favorite devices to use every single day, right? First, start off with the software. Now, when I first got my Google Pixel 6, the software on here was a little bit different. It wasn't complete, meaning that some of the apps like Studio app, when I would go into the Studio app, it would crash, or certain apps weren't even optimized for Android 12 yet, because just keep in mind, the Google Pixel 6 was probably the first phone to release with Android 12. So a lot of people had not even seen Android 12 until this phone got it. So just keep in mind that the Google Pixel 6 was the first phone to get Android 12. So Samsung didn't release it yet. OnePlus didn't release the Android 12 until Google released it. So a lot of the companies like Samsung and OnePlus did get to iron out some of the bugs. If you're gonna go into a minefield, right? If you're gonna walk into a minefield, do you take your own path, or do you follow the steps of someone else who's already walked across the minefield safely? Compare it to a minefield. Basically, Google did take a lot of the big press with the software. They did take a lot of heat when it came to the software, but that they also did is they ironed it out, right? They released timely updates, December and January update as well. So obviously Google is a software company. They always have been. Google services, Google Assistant, Google Maps, some of the biggest ones to name just to date. And so when it comes to their software, it's gonna be AI based, because Google as a company, they revolve around AI and machine learning and computational, computing when it comes to the photography, even with the Tensor chip, which got a lot of people excited because The machine learning in this device is really solid with the Tensor chip. It's gonna get to know you and your patterns more and more the more you use it. And I did, when I first got the device, experience some forced closing of apps, but now all those apps that used to force close, they don't close anymore. Like I remember the thumbnail maker app for YouTube never opened, but it's working perfectly fine. My smartwatch app for my smartwatch, the Timwoo Pro app, used to not work, but that one's working fine. I'm able to use every single app that I normally would use. And this has been my main phone for 2 months now. Battery on here is actually extremely good. I get a full day. Most of the time I end the day at 30% battery life when I'm at a full charge at 100%, which is really good for this device. The battery has been extremely good, and also even the performance for taking photos and playing video games. I was surprised about the performance on this device. If you're gonna compare it to like the the Snapdragon Gen 1 or the 888 or things like that, then that's actually a fair comparison, because this chip will compete with those processing speed. You could easily pick it up from the surface that it's laying on, easier, because it's gonna be like basically like sticking up off the surface or whatever. Always pop a case on here. I did make a best cases video, so I'll make sure to link that right up top right here. But the fingerprint sensor has been it has been fine for me, even if I put my finger on the screen at a weird angle like this one where it's not completely flat. It does manage to actually unlock the device, like if I hold it there. But if it's completely flat, it's just really quick. And I know a lot of people had some issues with the fingerprint sensor, right? I know that that's a big deal for some people, right? But just keep in mind, everyone is going to experience something different in the world. We're all individuals, so we all have our own experiences. Print sensor from day one has been good. So I guess it has to do with, I'm not saying that if you're experiencing issues with your fingerprint sensor, you're bugging out and you're not right. I'm just saying that everyone's going to experience something different. Obviously, all the phones aren't exactly identical, because there's some phones that have no issues, and then there's some phones where people are reporting a lot of issues. So as far as the connectivity to the internet, right, when I'm on Wi-Fi and I leave my house, it does take a quick, like a hot 10 seconds for it to change from Wi-Fi to the 5G, which I did notice. But that's something that I could work around. All I have to do is just turn off Wi-Fi manually, but it eventually will just automatically turn it off, so I never really worry about that. Other thing I like about this device is it does have Bluetooth 5.2, which a lot of people don't mention, which is really good for people who listen to a lot of music. I'm constantly listening to music. I'm listening to music right now as we speak on a low volume, so I just, I definitely like listening to music. And the Google Pixel 6 is really good for people who like to listen to music, because you're going to get that compatibility when you're listening to the music. It's going to be really clear with the Bluetooth 5.2 connection. The hardware side is phenomenal. It's extremely good, well built. It's a really well built phone. It's definitely holding strong. I do have a few scratches on my screen, but you can't see them unless it's like you put the phone at an angle, right? It does have Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, so you will experience like, not like scratches where it goes across the display, but you'll experience like nicks. There's like small little nicks, but it doesn't bother me too much because they're not big enough to actually notice. What I do also like is the sides of this device. It has this really nice side bar. You can see the antenna lines. You can see it does have a slot right there, but it doesn't have expansion of the storage, which kind of sucked for me. I didn't like that. It also doesn't have a headphone jack either, so I just want to throw that out there, that that's missing. But a lot of phones don't have that, right? So I just want to throw that out there. But for my experiences, I think Google is killing it. I think they're really killing it with this one. $599, pretty much a flagship phone. And they did make some things. They did do some things differently from the higher model, the Pro, especially in the camera situation. But if you get 8 gigabytes of RAM on this thing, 128 gigabytes of internal storage, which is just it's really good. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't ran out of storage. You could also you know, if you're the type of person who takes a ton of pictures, and you're gonna run out of storage eventually. So I would just have like a backup card or something where you could put all your files on. Maybe you could put it on a computer and just transfer them over if you eventually do run out. So I could see that as a issue. Maybe an external hard drive you could use with this thing, but or you could get the 256 gigabyte version, right? And then that'll solve a lot of your problems. But this device does have that 50 megapixel around back, which has been really solid for me. It also does have a wide angle camera at 12 megapixels, and then we also do have that 4K 60 mode, which I tend to use a lot. I tend to use that more than the 1080-30. I tend to use the 4K 60 pretty much as my default shooting option, and the phone doesn't heat up, it doesn't get hot. I'm able to film in that mode for long periods of time, and I haven't experienced any difficulties doing so. Everything that I've been experiencing with this device has been a solid experience. It hasn't been something where I've, like, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't enjoying it. From the sound quality of the speakers to even the charging speeds are pretty decent when you hook it up to a Type-C charger and or a wireless charger. I did hook it up to my wireless charger a lot. It doesn't charge real quick because I have a slow charging wireless charger. It's probably going to charge at like 10 to 15 watts or something like that. But when I sleep, I put it on that, and then when I'm during the daytime, I put it on the Type-C charger for a faster charge. Facing camera, which is an 8 megapixel, performs well also. And this is just going to be a phone that is going to be very versatile. So I could definitely say Google is doing a really good job with it. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know your experiences down below. I know everybody's experience is different. I thank you for watching to the end of the video, and I encourage you to subscribe for more videos just like this one. But I'm going to get right back with you. I'm going to check you guys later, but I wanted to share my experiences with the Google Pixel 6 after 2 months and let you know if it was actually killing it or not, and I definitely would think so. So hopefully you did get something out of this. Hopefully you did. If you can, I truly appreciate you for your support, and I'll get right back with you later. Later, group. Peace.